Now, during that very long meeting and in that previous story, we mentioned the Courtyard. That's a project that was launched by the city of Las Vegas a couple of years ago with about a $16 million price tag. It attempts to address homelessness in a unique way by not just providing beds, but providing services all in one area. We want to give you a closer look at the Courtyard and introduce you to two men who credit the Courtyard with getting them off the streets. Las Vegas city leaders, nonprofits, businesses, and volunteers are constantly in the trenches fighting what some may think is a losing battle. But Las Vegas is not raising a white flag in this fight. Instead, we are always looking for new and innovative ways to get people off the streets and into dignified, safe housing. One of the latest efforts is this, the Courtyard. It may not look new and shiny. That's because remodeling and reconstruction are an ongoing process at this point. So really what is amazing is that even in the midst of the dust, the Courtyard is still churning out success story after success story. We'd like you to meet a couple of men who credit the Courtyard with giving them back their lives.
My name is William Kite, William Kight.
Stephen Quackenbush, StevenQuakenbush.
William and Stephen, or Will and Steve as they like to call each other, had never met before landing on the streets of Las Vegas. In fact, they come from opposite ends of the country. Will is from the East Coast, Steve is from the West.
I had a mental episode when I was in Maryland. I'm from the East Coast. On a Sunday afternoon, 2015, started driving. Halfway through Kansas, I made a left and came to Vegas, and I've been here ever since.
It was Steve who first discovered the Courtyard, and although he'd found little success getting back on his feet in the past, he decided to give life one last shot.
So I started volunteering over there, and it ended up being from just dumping trash to doing it every day, and then the city approached me and asked me if I'd like to be lead volunteer. And so I was kind of reluctant at first, but then I was like, oh yeah, you know, and it just grew from there.
Fast forward a few months, Steve is working here full-time, getting a paycheck and living in an apartment. He remembered that friend he met while living on the streets and decided to give Will a fateful hand up.
I had a good friend that I had met, and he said, come along and we're gonna have a fun ride. And we've been together ever since, and we've been working together ever since, and we're trying to get to the end.
All right, baby, how you doing today?
Fine.
So what makes this Courtyard different? Why did it work for them? Several things, but Stephen will say homeless people are more willing to accept help from those who've been in their shoes in the past. That's why the city strives to hire those who've been on the streets. It garners a feeling of, if they can do it, just maybe I can too.
There's a lot of trust, and that's a big thing out here. You know, people won't, without that trust, a lot of times they won't even approach you.
A lot of our input is put into action.
Steve and Will remember how treasured their few belongings were. The Courtyard listened. There are hundreds of new, clean bins with locks. They are assigned to people who want to sleep peacefully, knowing their belongings are safe, or go out and look for work, knowing when they return, they will still have the things that are important to them. There's even a locked shed for people who must leave here to go to the hospital or leave for an extended period with the intent to return.
The only people that have keys for this is us and security, and that's all.
Aside from wanting to keep their belongings safe, another big reason people don't want to leave the streets is they don't want to leave their pets. Here, there's a clean, safe kennel for pets of all kinds.
We've got dogs here right now, we've got cats, we've got parakeets.
There are clean bathrooms and showers, and although sleeping facilities separate men and women, there is a safe place for children and families. Just about anything you need can be found here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And Steve says it's offered up with dignity, thanks to some wonderful community partners.
The way people are treated when they come to the Courtyard. They're treated as people. You know, they're not our clients, they're not just the homeless person. You know, they're our guests.
At the end of the workday, instead of trying to find a place to lay their head huddled on the streets, these two friends head to their own apartments, where they are warm in the winter, cool in the summer, and safe year-round. They just want others to know it can be done.
Come here. Just come here and talk to somebody.
All it takes is the will. If I can do it from no support and get up off the street, anybody can do it. And we're here to help. And the only way you're going to get help is if you ask for help.
There was a lot of disagreement at that meeting, and the disagreement will continue. The only thing everyone agrees on is this is not an issue that anyone intends to give up on.